What is up, my friends? If you saw my last video that was put out on Wednesday, our hauling video, this is probably going to be Friday's video, which is part 2, and we dropped off right here. I told you guys I was going to pick up part 2 right here. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to rent the RAFT. So we experience this as you would renting it. I have a RAFT. That doesn't really count because it's mine. I can customize the parts and such. Rentals come with limitations. But we're going to go through this process because this is really cool. Determining, based on like how much money you have, determines how many days you can rent this for. Now, these rentals, I believe, are actual real days, like real life days, like from a day to 3 days to a whole week. So we'll go ahead and just for this video's sake, we'll do a day rental. We're going to rent the ship. Let's see. Actually, let's click on this. Let's see. How much does it cost for a 3-day rental? It's okay, so it does go up. So we, as in the last video, as stated, we earned 220,000 AUEC. We could rent this for 3 days. But, you know, as said, for this video, we're just going to do the day 1 rental. We're going to grab this. We're going to confirm. Now, this bad boy should be sitting right here in Loreville for us to use. Now, you likely are going to have to spawn it to get the medium hangar up because it won't spawn in your small hangar. This is my trick to avoid elevators from eating your ships and making you claim them. So we probably have 2. Yep, we have a rental raft and we have my actual raft, which we're going to leave that alone. I haven't even moved it in this game yet. So our rented raft here, we're going to deliver this. And just to verify, I shouldn't be able to customize anything. The game might do something weird since I also have my own raft. So let's see what happens. No, okay, so confirmed. This raft TAC 2 is my actual raft, which isn't delivered. I'm not going to even mess with it just to avoid that. And again, we're in the 4.2 PTU, which will hopefully be live by the time you're watching this or within the next week. There are a lot of really good things, and one thing in particular that we're going to verify by using the raft, because the raft's tractor beam has been a problem where after you leave it and go back to it, it no longer showed the info of the box you were picking up. So I cannot wait to see with this box info change if that rectified that problem. So to get around the elevator eating your ship, like I was mentioning earlier, you're going to grab it. It'll spawn. You're going to give it like 3 to 4 seconds. And then you're going to come in here and store it. So what? Oh, and this is actually a full real life day because we just lost about 2 minutes worth of time. That's cool. So keep that in mind. So however long you're renting it is real life days that you keep the ship on you from all the way up to a whole week, it looks like. Which is kind of wild. So this is exciting. So now we should see, yep, there's our medium hangar, which is perfect. So we're going to get in here. We're going to hit that medium hangar. We're going to pull up this raft and have a lot of fun. So the raft is 192 SU of cargo. So this is going to give us a lot more room to play with and a lot more missions to stack, which speeds up how fast you can run through these cargo missions. So now that we're down here with our stuff spawned properly, now we'll call the raft. So your entrance point right here. Just hold this, hold F, click on that button, drop your elevator. It will default to top deck where your tractor beam is if you just tap F on this screen. So hold down F and then drag down to lower deck and then release. And then now you'll go into the cockpit area of the raft. This was one of the ships that people have been waiting for a long time for it to be truly usable, and now it is one of the most usable, wonderful ships in the game, in my opinion. It's great for doing bounty looting, salvage looting, hauling missions. It doesn't want me to enter the cockpit. Oh, shoot. Alright, well, yeah, since we got 30k'd out, we're still in the ship, and doors are opening. Okay, so yeah, we just had a weird 30k, not an update. Interesting. So, we're going to go ahead and move the ship in front of the cargo elevator. That's the whole point for being in here. So, one of the tricks that I like to do with the raft, anytime I'm going to get out of it, I open all the doors. So, we're going to do that, and then you're going to see why. And we're going to run out right here down the airlock. Bam, just like that. Instead of waiting for all those to open. It's just faster, and it doesn't drop your elevator, which is really cool. So you don't have to worry about sending that back up. So we positioned ourselves right here with that nice fat cargo grid ready to go. There's our tractor beam. This is where the cargo is going to come up. So I'm going to go ahead and pick as many missions as I can carry on this thing, and we're going to have some fun. So actually, I am not going to do a mission load up yet because we are really close to ranking up. So I think instead I'm going to do a down and back. to get us into Junior, and then we'll be back up here at Everest Harbor and load up with a bunch more. Wicked. Okay, so what we're doing, we're going to run, this is going to make us about 180k with just these 3 missions. We're going to do 2 direct planetary smalls down to TISA, which is going to be only 13 SKU, and it's going to be really fast. And then we're going to do a return trip of 99 from TISA back to Everest Harbor using 8 SCU-sized units. I got mixed up again. We're already at TISA, so no, we're just going to run the 99 up to Everest and see what happens. So let's drop the elevator, let's grab this cargo, and we'll jump in the raft and get it loaded up. So if you click on the missions tab, you can actually isolate just the stuff that you're going to use for a mission, send it over to the elevator, and send it on up. Now we're going to run up into the raft because this tractor beam is going to make this so fast. And what's nice is as you're dealing with higher and higher quantities, you'll deal with larger boxes, so it's not going to take longer. Loading 99 individual singles would be crazy, but look at that. Those are 8 SCU boxes. This is going to go really fast. Now you can actually just tap this to go to top deck, because that's where we're going. We're going up to our tractor beam. You can also do the drag and drop method if you're just used to doing that. It doesn't matter either way, but we're up in the engineering space where you have components lockers or component slots, and then in the far back area you have your engineering terminal, or what used to be your engineering terminal is now your tractor terminal. So you'll kick it on. Well, you'll do your dramatic animation as you get up to it. Then you'll turn it on up here, and then you can select enter remote turret through this option here, or the same button on your binding, whether it's your stick or whatever. And it's really good. So we're just going to go ahead and grab these and fling them onto the raft. This ship is so freaking sweet, man. Just drop it all the way back there. Make sure it's all the way. Perfect. So this will not take long. So tractor info might be ship specific. If you realize we're not getting the commodity label like we were in the Nomad, but we are getting the label on our tractor beam to the box itself, which hopefully stays. Right now it says contracted stems, so that's something to keep in mind. We've got all that loaded up, so let's go ahead and hop off of here and get down, or sorry, get up to Everest Harbor. Oh, I like to go this way actually. There's a little ladder that drops down. You can take the elevator, but you can also just back up, drop down, and then you are gonna get right up to the cockpit really fast. All right, now we are making our way up, and there's that beautiful cargo tucked in nicely. We only used about half of the carrying capacity of the raft, a little bit over half. 192 total gridded space, and we just used up about 100 of it, 99 or so. Gear down. Down to about 30 meters a second. Cruise forward a bit, drop down to about 15 meters a second. Go ahead and shift our orientation to having our cargo bay aft. Drop on down. Doors open, just for when we need to exit the ship. Let's see if the tractor info is fixed, because there's a good chance it's not going to show up now. That's been kind of a constant issue with the raft. Granted, in this case, it's not so bad because you're picking up and dropping off to one location. It's only a bit of a hassle when you're dropping off to multiple locations. And survey says it's still broken. See how there's no information? So keep that in mind when using the raft. You might need to be paying extra attention to what you have and where it's going based on colors, based on where you put it on the ship, which I will show you with the main stack of missions we're going to do after this. All green, looking good. Now we're actually going to see if we even need to do the next missions, because this might give us the rep we need to move on to junior rank. Here we go, contract complete. Let's see what happened. I guess we can tell by contracts then. Yep, looks like we made it. Cool, we got junior. So we're actually going to go ahead and delete the other two. You can abandon without getting hurt, my friends. Just partial submitting is what ruins your rep. Abandoning does not. Just to show you guys, we are still at the same rep, still have access to the same missions. Now we are down here, or no, we're up at Everest now. This is actually perfect. So you have a lot of the same types of missions now, just at a higher tier payout. And we're going to be looking for the planetary smalls, which are 76k it looks like. But these are the surface elevators. They're a little bit different. They can be a little risky because you're going to be exposed to other players, and the surface elevators tend to be a bit buggy. Now, unfortunately, the thing that we do not have that we all want is a filter. So you're going to have to just scroll through all the rookies and everything. Keep an eye on what you're looking at, because if you accept rookie missions, your rep is going to go up way slower. It's not as valuable. Once you're in junior rank, junior missions are the way to go. You don't want to mess with things below that. It's going to be a waste of your time. All right, junior's a little bit weird compared to what I remember, so we don't really have the cleanest loop, but we do have the ability to stack these 4 missions in a pretty good way. So we're going to pick up what we can here from Aorus Harbor, which is going to involve 109 to Tisa Spaceport here, and then, 12, 14, 20s or so. We have enough to stack everything we need, and this is all going to go to from Everest to Sakura and Kovalex, and then we're going to pick up from Castillo 3 different... Sorry, so this is another thing to look for. In your actual text, it'll show you where you're picking up from, versus like here it just says Castillo times 3 essentially, but that's not accurate. It's also picking up from Kovalex, which is one of the areas we're dropping off to from this mission. So that's kind of how I'm sort of connecting this together. We're kind of tagging the same stations to get back up to Everest and continue the loop to just be efficient and rank through junior as quick as we can. So we'll just hit select all, send it all over. These are also not repeating commodities that are going to the same places, so it'll be easy to keep an eye on where they're at, but I'm still going to separate them based on where they are on the raft for easy tracking. So we can't see what we're grabbing, but I do know based on color here that this is pressurized ice, given silicon is green. So we will keep this off to the side. Alright, as you just saw, be ready. If you click on the box the wrong way, it might fling it across the hanger. So be diligent with where you're placing stuff. Alright, and that is it. Let's head on to Tisa, then Sakura, then Castillo. Now, I'm not worried about what I'm seeing on my mission tracker or anything. I am just going to go in the order that I know I need to go to make this the most efficient. So I want to drop all of the silicon off at Tisa Spaceport first, which is going to take us down to Loreville. Now, some of you might be wondering, why am I only doing it like this? Why don't I hit station to station or go to the Lagrange points like HRL4, KRL1, KRL4, whatever? You can do whatever you want here. I'm just showing you my method, the way I like to run things in a way that gets you through the rep really quickly. I've grinded, however you want to say it, up through hauling rep a few times because of the PTU, and doing these planetary missions just keeps everything tight, keeps it together, keeps it moving fast, so you can quickly get through and up to experienced and mess with the really good stuff. I am really feeling this ship's weight being thrown around right now. We don't need the lights on, we actually got good enough visual. We're going to drop our landing gear. Looking good. We're going to go ahead and slow down a bit more because we're still kind of coming in fast. There we go. That's a lot more manageable, about 30 meters a second. Pick up this way. We're going to angle ourselves towards the hangars. Sorry, towards the cargo elevator, which should be right behind us. Perfect. Now your rear view mirror is a lot closer than you think, which is why it looked like we were pretty much on top of that wall there. Here we go. And just to show you, there we are, lined up right in front of the cargo hangar. You get used to where you position your ship with practice. Now we know only the silicon is going off here, so we don't got to worry about the fact that we can't see our information on our boxes because we know where the silicon is and what color it is. So getting used to colors is important. Now some things share the same colors, like all the metals, or most of the metals, like when you're dealing with aluminum, tin, titanium, tungsten, they're all that same kind of gray color, so it gets a little trickier. Carbon and silicon are green like this. Stems and processed food, as well as medical supplies and altrusotoxin, are in that white color. And of course, corundum and quartz are in the blue. I'm sure there might be one or two other things that are blue as well. Neon is also in the white sort of processed food color. So you just gotta get used to the colors, and then also where you're putting things on your ships. So I'm just going to move this here, keep this as organized as possible, since we're dealing with so much silicon. In fact, let's get that little one skew out of the way. Alright, just like that, we are done. And there we go. All accounted for, all green, all good. Alright, navigate to Sakura. Magnolia Work Center. It's being stubborn. If your mission's being annoying and not tracking properly, just actually select one like this. Should be this one. Damn, we chose Kovalex. That is just the luck of the draw sometimes. Definitely got some adverse effects here. Use your scanner to get your topography. There we go, we're looking good. It's like a sandstorm or something. What the hell? This must be an actual rainstorm. This is awesome. I haven't actually experienced this yet, so keep that in mind. You're going to be encountering some bad weather. You can barely see. Yep, it is definitely raining. That is actually really cool. Alright, we're going to go VTOL. Slow this bad boy down a bit more. Alright, looking good. Let's just get positioned right in front of this hangar. Sorry, elevator. I keep calling it a hangar. The whole damn thing's a hangar. Now here we need 7 processed food and 7 pressurized ice we're dropping off, and then we're picking up waste or something like that to take back to Aorus Harbor. Now if you're wondering how I got to that conclusion, again, in your contracts, when you have some of these that show like duplicates of the same name, it says waste from Casillo, waste from Casillo. That's obviously not right. One of these is from Casillo, and one of these is from Kovalex Distribution Center, Sierra 1 Delta Charlie 06, which this is the only one you ever pick up or drop off stuff from. So since we're dropping off here, right here, you can see it, Kovalex Distribution Center, Sierra 1 Delta Charlie 06. So we'll drop this stuff, and then we'll pick up the waste, and then we'll move off to Sakura, and then finally Casillo to pick up the rest, and head back to Aorus Harbor. So 7 and 7. Now remember the trick with 7 and 7, guys. The way it adds up is very deliberate. You're going to go 4, 2, 1. So we'll go ahead and grab the 2 and the 1 first, I guess. It's never going to be like a 4 and 3 singles. That's what I mean. It's going to be the least amount of boxes possible to make the satisfied quantity, or to satisfy the quantity. So in this case, 4, 2, 1 for 7 total. There's the pressurized food, or sorry, the processed food. Now for the pressurized ice, it's going to be the same thing. 4, 2, 1. All right, there we go. Green across the board, exactly what we want to see. But don't leave the terminal, because you can jack things up. It'll send it back up. It can mess up everything. Stay on the terminal, and then pick up what you have to collect, which is the waste that's coming back with us.
Landing gear up.
All right, wow, yeah, we're heading back into some pretty adverse weather here. That's crazy, man. You can't see like anything through this rain. Wow. Talk about some immersion, right? Let's get out of here. Wonder if we can get up above the storm clouds and see what it looks like. Holy cow, dude. I think that's all a storm. Alright, so keep that in mind. Hurston is one of the planets that is experiencing some turbulent weather. Let's go ahead and jump over to Sakura to finish dropping off this processed food, and then we'll wrap up this this run in the raft. Landing gear down. Go ahead and open up our doors. Now remember, belly up to use those VTOL thrusters to slow down faster. There we go. Thruster variance is interesting. You guys have to get used to that. That's a bit of a change to the flight dynamic. Oh yeah, doors are already open. Sweet. So let's go ahead and drop off the rest of this processed food. We're not picking anything up from here. So we can drop this stuff and we can just race on over to Casillo to grab the rest. And since we know the rest of this is going here, I don't have to worry about being delicate. I can just grab and fling. We're green across the board. Very good. You can start to see how you begin to build a chain of missions, and as you get more and more experienced, you get a lot more efficient and you move a lot faster. So some of it is the need to gain that experience and learn the best way that you would do things, what works best for you, And before you know it, by the time you're in member rank, you're already making over 500k an hour pretty easily. Now this is all going to Aorus, so I don't really care how I put it on the ship. Alright, we are wrapping up this load. And it always looks like more than it is until you start putting it on the raft and you realize just how much room you have. I mean, this truly is an amazing boat, man. I love this ship for this work. It is so satisfying and it gets the job done. So we're just loading up the last bit of this mixture of scrap and iron ore before we head to Aorus Harbor and wrap up this video. Kind of give final thoughts and maybe even extra little tips that I might have missed or think of in the moment on our way over there. One little tip that I like to include in pretty much any video I'm talking about speed or flying around, you want to make sure your velocity indicator, which is this little 3-prong chevron that I'm moving up and down right now, is always pointed into sort of empty space. That way you don't have to worry wherever you're looking, whatever you're doing, you're not going to end up running into, wow, look at that storm segment, that's what that is. You're not going to end up running into the station because you've actually got your vector pointing to empty space. So we can look around casually and not worry about running into anything and ending our trip prematurely. I just wanted to look at those clouds because it's just wow to see those storm sections, you know, kind of in action here. Alright, let's go ahead and request our landing and finish this drop off. There we go. Alright, let's drop this stuff off, guys, and see what our payout is, where our rep is landed, and give a bit of final thoughts on hauling with the raft and your hauling journeys. Alright guys, last box. We are throwing in the elevators. Definitely a full elevator. Just about. You'll only be able to fit like singles and doubles at this point. But we'll go ahead and hop out of here and drop this off to finally collect the last bit of our reward before we look at our rep gain. Look at how much money we made and our overall hauling progress. So as we go to drop this, we're all green across the board. It's exactly what we want to see. I'm glad we didn't have any hiccups with terminals today. Everything's delivered as expected. We can also go ahead and store the raft. It shows we still have 22 hours and 23 minutes remaining. For 70,000 AUEC, dude, that is a steal, man. Renting the raft is more than worth it. So we're going to let these contracts fully complete here. Why is this... That's weird. Huh. Okay. So, sometimes it's good to check. So we have the waste that was supposed to count, and it's right here. So let's do this. Let's select all. Let's move it over. We're going to bring it up, and we're going to drop it again. Occasionally, things will act a little weird. What is happening right now? So we might have gotten treated with abort mission when we got that 30K, that disconnect we had. I'm not sure. So this isn't registering as contracted waste anymore. This is just registering as regular waste. So that's probably why it's not going to count. This is a very rare thing. That does not happen often. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So yeah, this is the 29 waste. It just, the mission broke, unfortunately. So that's wasted. We did have a pretty big server hiccup at one point. So... maybe things just got a little weird on us. Well, yeah, unfortunately, we did have a mission break on us, which would have been another 71,000 AUEC, so we're going to go ahead and add that as if we had completed it. I'm going to go ahead and abandon that because it's really dumb. So total earnings today, guys, is 410,500 AUEC, factoring in that all of the missions actually worked properly. We realistically came in below that at 340,000. It is what it is because one of our missions didn't register. And still a nice chunk of junior. It would have probably been about here had that mission counted. So that's good. That we almost got half of the junior rank in one loop that took about an hour. So you'll get through junior pretty fast. I was also playing kind of casual, moving a little slower, so it didn't go up quite as quick. And then with member, you basically are going to do the same thing. Again, videos will be linked in the description of this video for the member grind and how to sort of optimize for that one. Granted, now I don't really run all 8 contracts. I typically run the 5 99K planetary small contracts by member. And it's going to be typically aluminum, I think quartz, tin, titanium, titanium, tungsten, and maybe corundum. I don't know. It's 5 of them, and you can get it done in under an hour. So you're making roughly 500K an hour with just those. So it's really good. Hauling is great, and you can build up quick. And then once you get to experienced, you can start doing those 700K payout missions with the Hull C. Now, granted, the Hull C costs 16.5 million AUEC in game. The RAFT is 3.5 million, and no plans from what it seems to increase that. But as you've seen here, you can just rent it and then just start stacking the funds, building up, ranking up on the way. And you can also speed up your revenue if you want by doing bounties and pyro or doing salvage looting. There are definitely options. Once you save up and you get that Hull C, you pretty much unlock one of the best revenue generators in the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed these 2 videos when it comes to hauling, showing the Nomad getting the job done and that really great tractor beam showing all that information, and then using the RAFT for something similar. Now, you're still going to get great rep doing the junior missions that go from Lagrange points to stations or however you want to do it. Definitely want to equip like an Atlas quantum drive that you can pick up from, I believe, her L2, which is your best civilian accelerating quantum drive. It's really the fastest one that you're going to get when you factor in cooldown, acceleration, and top speed versus just the Huracan's top speed and ridiculously long cooldown, which really blows. And the Atlas, or not the Atlas, the Hemera, sorry, the Hemera quantum drive, which that's actually over at Crew L1. Sorry, Crew L1 for your size 2 Hemera quantum drive, the best one you can use for the RAFT. The Atlas for the Nomad is at her L2. All I had in my notes was basically starting out with the Nomad, practical pathway to big money, unlocking the RAFT, grinding, hauling, or doing salvage loot or bounties. Your starter missions, renting what I was originally going to do with the Taurus, but the RAFT is honestly the better option. And then eventually maybe buying the RAFT at 3.5 or just saving up, again, since you can rent it until you get to 16.5 for the Hull C. I'm not sure if the surface elevators are working, so you might have more options there. If they are, I need to do more testing on those. They've been notoriously buggy in the past for me. And again, we were doing this on 4.2, so it's very similar to 4.1.1. There isn't much that'll be different other than the storm on Hurston that we encountered. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know. Hit me up with all the questions and comments down below. Suggestions, ideas, maybe follow-up videos you want to see in this regard. Tips and tricks. And check out my guides playlist where you can find a lot of stuff on hauling, on bounties, and a lot of future things that'll come out. Thank you so much, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.